All right, commencing with reality. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Derek Eselius here. Welcome to Denver Yoga Underground. A few ideas here. If you're to read the classical texts on yoga asana, number one, you'll find a very limited menu of postures. The book that has the most, I believe, is Shiva Samhita. It has 32 poses listed, and the other one has 16, and it's a fairly short list. And what is of particular like sounds simple, like you just kind of like might even just drive past the exit, not even pick up on this when I say it. But when they describe it, they describe the pose less in terms of, inner rotate your thigh here or externally or tuck your tailbone or like anatomical description. They describe it in terms of its effect. Its effect, what it does to your energy. That's the native terminology on the yoga asana. Again, it's sort of hidden in plain sight, but a very important distinction. And the language they use for describing its effects it's not even like modern psychological language either. It's not like, well, this one, cures depression, or this one, makes you less anxious. They describe the effect in terms of your energetic landscape. Your energetic landscape. So, for example, there's a vocabulary around a thing called your vayus, which are like energetic humors. There's vocabulary around your like constitutional humor, or your constitution, or through the lens of Ayurveda, if you're familiar with that word or system. Or they describe it in terms of its spiritual potency, like channeling energy through Sushumna, for example. Right? That's the native take on what the poses do, or like how or why we would apply this pose as opposed to that pose. Right? And some nod towards the treatment of disease as well. Again, in the native parlance, that's how they do it. And I want to offer you like a very simple idea or rubric or way of considering how we generate different effects, different energetic effects with the medium of the yoga asana. And the rubric is this: what direction, how is your spine oriented? Like right now, we're all seated in a neutral spine, right? And there's a certain, and it lends itself, and this is hidden in plain sight. You don't have to look really hard. That's sort of the beauty of growing edge appreciation for yoga. For me personally, is that it utilizes what's intuitively obvious in many ways. Like what we're doing is not that complicated. We're just patterning or repatterning the deepest faculties that are already present here, namely your mind, your breath, and a body. Like anyone who's alive has these three things. And there are ways that you can arrange them that support harmony, that support insight, that support self-understanding, realization, etc. It's not, you don't have to go very far to access these things, right? So, and you don't have to go any further than your spine, right? Which I carry with me most days, most days. And there's a thing that happens when I sit upright. There's a thing that happens when I sit in a neutral position. There's another thing, and there's 6 ways you can orient your spine. There's another thing that happens when I do this. Right? You spend time with it. And this is what we'll do this evening, is spend more time with twisted postures, which typically don't get a whole lot of press. So I thought that would be kind of a fun way to lean in, right? Another thing I can do with my spine is reach laterally like this. And this has a different signature to it. Another thing I can do is come into a back bend like this. We all maybe know, love, and appreciate, celebrate what happens here, right? It's a more up kind of energy, isn't it? Like a good back bend class, it just feels, wow, I'm ready to take on my taxes. Today is going to be the day. Can we get started already? Right? There's a kind of stimulating enthusiasm thing that happens with a lot of back bends. And that's also fun, you know, getting that sandbox, right? And and then conversely, forward folds, right? And again, I just invite you to kind of lean into the taste of your own intuition here. What happens? Is it like back bend stimulating, or is it more sedating? More calming, even better choice of words. Yeah. Right. And then the final category is inversion, like headstand, shoulder stand. So there is a particular, say, alchemy to each of these 6 orientations. And it's a longer conversation if we go into the particulars of this and that, how you combine them. But maybe we're tracking some sense of potential here in terms of, you know, approaching the asana very artfully, or approaching the asana therapeutically. Or you might even think of it like in the old days of the stick shift, right? Like first gear, second gear, third gear, even reverse. Like, you know, reverse gear, that'd be a lot of forward bends. It's like pull back, right? In a 6th gear, that would be your back bends, or 5th gear. Math can account for one negative, right? Right. And so we can arrange these poses to cultivate a different quality of experience of our own energy, because here's the crux of the matter. Do we experience the world? Do we experience the world? You know, it may seem the obvious answer might be yes, but if you look a little closer, it's not so much the world that we experience as we experience our own energy in relationship to the world. You know, where does the sensation of gain and loss occur, right? It occurs within the kind of signaling, the inner signal. I like this, I don't like this, right? There's a signature there. So the asana then is an amazing access point into a whole host of dimensions of your potential, your possibilities, self-regulation. That's kind of a nice way, simple way of boxing this up. How do you regulate your energy, right? And so what I'd like to offer us tonight is a deeper taste of the twist energy, which is neither up nor down. It's like the supreme equal. We may finish this class and you're like, did we do it? Like, I don't even, it's like the absence of issues. It's like the weather in San Diego. You feel like a transparent being, like there's not a problem here. And then, like, can I be okay with that? You know? So I hope not to, I don't aim to disappoint you, but know that we're heading towards contentment. and we'll see how that went. Okay. So I wish you all peace on your journey. So let's start with your heads this direction.